Hello, facilitators. Welcome to another video on the Waves of Communication channel. My name is Marci Melzer. I'm an intuitive speech language pathologist and natural spoken language facilitation coach and consultant. I'm here to help parents learn how to connect and facilitate naturally through everyday functional activities. And today I'm talking about a topic that is near and dear to my heart. It's this one. We're going to be talking about these late talking mission kids. And those of you who are, have been following me for a while may have seen that the flavor of my information has changed a little bit. There is lots of information on my channel about how to swap out prompting, talk more slowly, blah, 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 connect with your kid. But the reality is the whole reason I have this channel is because of these mission kids. So yeah, I see some people are joining. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for joining me today. Sarah's here. And, anybody who's joining me now, if you have a interest in the metaphysical tools that I am going to be starting to offer to parents, then this is definitely for you. So let's get into what I'm going to be talking about. Again, mission kids and what is this all about? So the reality is that I believe that there are children that were brought here for a reason, and a lot of the people who understand how an evolutionary process works, a spiritual evolution process works, there are suffering. We sort of have to understand what we don't want and why we got where we got and all of those things before we can heal and move into a bigger space. Like, you have to know the low before you go to the high, all of that business. And I was given the gift of being able to connect with these late talking kids. Now, when I talk about connecting with them, it's not just in person. When I meet these children face to face, it's almost like I already know them. They are intuitively showing and sharing with me, your child, the one who's watching this right now, the mom or the dad or whoever is motivated, was interested by this topic on my video to watch today. Your child's been communicating with me. And in fact, I've been using the messages from late talkers the whole entire time that I've been on my platform. And I want to talk to you about who these kids are. It's time now for them to step forward and share to you through me guidance for you, their parent or caregiver. So that's it. These kids can't talk. They're late talkers. They're nonverbal. They're showing behaviors, and they want you to learn from them through their behavior. So let's talk about why and how and all these things happen, and why I'm so inspired by these children, your child, the real children living in this world who can't talk right now, what they're inspired for me to share with you today. So let's get into it, right? We're going to be talking about these late talking mission kids. And, you have one. You're one of those parents out there who was gifted this child. See, you have the privilege of learning and healing with a super vibe mission kid. We all have different ways, privileges given to us by the universe, by the energy, by God, by our lot in life, fate, if you want to call whatever else. Different ways to heal and grow and evolve in this lifetime. If you believe there's multiple, I do. This one, you, the person watching this video, was given the privilege of learning and healing with a super high vibe mission kid. Children who came to this life with these parents for a specific purpose. And what that specific purpose is teaching and healing. And you're here to learn from, with, through your parenting experience with this child, okay? So a mission kid's specialty is healing trauma. So I'm going to pull this back because those of you watching this, you may have really highly resonated with my mindset videos, with those videos that talk about how external things are threatening to take you off of your path as this child's natural facilitator, and All of those things are happening in the outside world that we don't have control over. But what you do have control over always is your connection and relationship and where you learn. So whether that's from me on this YouTube video or from a book you read or somebody else's YouTube video or the tarot cards you use or whatever it is, I suggest, in fact, your late talker's telling me with big loud messages in my head, you got to teach my mom because I'm here. The entity in your life for you to learn from is your child. And I'm going to get emotional in this video because that's how the energy releases through me in addition to my words. So let's really talk about this because many of you watching this, as well as the lay talkers that you're parenting, right, experience healing as you work through trauma response behavior. So if you watch this video, I'm going to highlight it again. The whole reason it came about is because I was feeling this trauma from these children and the parents, and they said, you got to make a trauma video, Marci. Okay, so here's how it works. Okay, I'm going to show you how you know that your child is a late talking mission kid and how to work with the energy, because what they're telling me now is, if you're watching this, you might be thinking about this concept. You might have suspected it in your own mind. And I'm here to confirm that you're right. You're not crazy like other people might be trying to tell you about what you think and suspect and know about the brilliance of your child, their smarts, their knowledge, and that you feel like the speech is just locked in them, but they're communicating. But it's just not with speech. Like you're getting messages all the time. That's why that telepathic video probably resonated with a lot of you too. All right, so what happens is these mission kids intentionally mirror their parents' trauma response behaviors. And this graphic example is just a blaring thing, but I'm going to tell you they mirror the tiniest behaviors. It can be the smallest little thing that you do, but because you're doing it subconsciously from an energy that your child says, ooh, this isn't, my mom's not in the right place right now. She's not feeling like she can give. She needs healing right now. Like you're going to find out how that looks, okay? Because they're showing you and telling you, and how the right mindset allows you to respond to that teaching opportunity. Because remember, it still is work. Nothing's magical. Nobody's waving a magic wand and taking away your trauma. In fact, these kids, these mission kids, are here to help you realize what it is and work through it. And I'm going to give you a 3-step process that you can use whenever you're triggered to reconnect and get through this. Okay, so here's what we do. Okay, so this is what happens. The kids see you doing something and then they mirror it in their own selves, triggering you to call it out in them. Oh my gosh, my kid's yelling at tiny children and scaring them, when they don't realize that they learned that behavior by watching you. Now think about this right now. Your child is mirroring you, the person watching this video right now. And they want you to know that they're showing you literally reflection of what you're doing, saying, communicating through your habitual behavior. These are things you do all the time. So if on this first one on the left, you're excited about stuff all the time, but maybe you have a short attention span, but you're like, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this, and you're happy all the time. You're going to have one of these short attention span, happy late talkers that flits around and goes from this to this to this to this and this and doesn't mind. They're not attached to any big, long work. They just like quick, easy stuff. Maybe like the second person, you're anxious. Your child is seeing anxiety in their life. These people that they're trying to heal, they see this anxiety, so they show you anxious behavior, stimming behavior. This anxiety could be underlying, hiding underneath you, but yet this late talker showing it. What about this judgmental lady in the middle? If people are judging you, you're reflecting that judgment. If people are judging your kid will reflect that judgment towards people who do this behavior. If you're a super caring person, like you're like, we got to look out for grandma, we got to look out for this one, we got to look out for that one, we got to make sure everybody's taken care of. You're that role. Your child will be patting you on the back and making sure you have things and bringing you things that you forgot non-verbally, right? They're reflecting this behavior. And if you're withdrawn, shy, depressed, and on your own, so will your child. And it's with this mission kids, right? That's why I left that graphic up there, because you're relating in any kind of given day, waves of energy, right? Some days I'm up, some days I'm down, some days I'm this, some days I'm that. If you're seeing those changes in your child, remember, this is habitually the mindset you're in, reflects in how you behave. And your child is saying, alert, alert, alert. This is behavior that I see. They're not judging the behavior. They're just alerting you to the behavior. They see, they're reflectors. It's non-judgmental reflection. But if it looks like judgment, you're going to see judgment. If it looks like blame, you're going to see blame. If it looks like shame, you're going to see shame. If it looks like anxiety, you're going to see anxiety. It's a mirror. Okay. Now, if you're not self-aware in your awareness of what you're doing and why you're doing it, what the root is of where did this energy come from that causes me to yell or cuddle or do for my child or be in anxiety or short attention span. Let's try this for a little while, and then let's try this for a little while, and let's try this for a little while, and oh no, this is a better thing, and this is better. Always looking for the better, right? Because you're not getting the work done. And remember, if you're watching this video, you're stuck, your child's late talking, you don't know what to do, the things you've tried to make it happen, or even the things other people said would make it happen aren't working, because this is why you were given a mission kit, to find the solution within yourself and your connection with your child. I'm going to show you how, okay? So remember, this is it. Look at who you are. Quiet parents get quiet kids. Loud parents get quiet kids. Fast trigger parents get fast trigger kids. Judgmental, quiet, isolated, think in your head, problem solvers, physicians, all that kind of business. Okay, now your late talker is reflecting habits for you to self-analyze. So I talked about some of these things that were more emotional just so on those pictures, but now these are the things that cause, they're directly related to your child reflecting that behavior so it can change, right? Because remember, these habits, let's pull them back up here, are things that are, called out, right, on these children as being disordered. So, and they want you to self-analyze them, because remember, the things you see in your child are also in you. So if they are late talking, you have to think about how creative nonverbal communication is learned. How are you talking? Are you talking even enough? Are you even talking? Were there periods of time that you just shifted into telepathy and didn't use much nonverbal communication? Because somehow, remember, these children who are still not using language are getting through the day every day, just super happy. You're going to see that these kids are happy. It's you that's not feeling good, right? Because things have happened. You've shifted out of speech into getting through the day nonverbally. Physical, they cuddle or punch more than talking because it's a fast reaction. They don't know the words. They have more access to physical things. Okay, now remember, do you cuddle or grab or manhandle before talking, or did you move through a phase even where some of these things were happening? So these kids are super smart. Are you seeing evidence that your child is Einstein syndrome? Super fast thinkers. Lots of you parents are. I know that video is getting watched a lot on my channel. These creative and unique children play in unusual ways. Do you do things in unusual ways? Do you eat in unusual ways? Do you garden? Do you drive? Do you do your job in unusual ways? You're the unique thinker, right? If that's you, then you probably birthed one, right? And manipulators. These are the kids that turn the tables when tested. Is that you? Because remember, you parents, they're reflecting. All the behaviors reflected. Where would they learn it? They came out of you into a world where they knew nothing. And now they're behaving in a way to get you, to trigger you to react and respond to that behavior, because it's their communication. All behavior is communication. The nonverbal, the physical, the metaphorical, all of that stuff is going on. Okay. So listen, these kids are communicating. They're reflecting. So remember, this is the things in you. Were you late talking or, in their life? Those situations they're seeing in you and they're picking up and they're using because they learned these communication behaviors. All these things are communication behaviors. Okay, now the healing happens. This is the trick. So this is how it works, right? When you navigate parenting with intention. So when you see those behaviors, instead of judging and trying to fix them, because you're somehow in control of the outcome of that behavior, which is false. You're never in control of anyone else's behavior. If you haven't learned that by now, you try to trick your late talker and force them to do something and see what happens, right? There's no way you can control these children. They're too smart. They're too crafty. They see your tricks and tips and manipulations coming a mile away, especially if you're using a lot of them. They turn the tables so quick on you that they won't do it. Are you that person that always gets the deal, that always makes sure that you don't, your family doesn't get ripped off, that you get, go to a grocery store on bargain days, or, whatever it is that you use, depending on you and your astrological chart, and how you navigate life. Remember, that's what this is about, is how the energy is navigating through. So remember, this is the intention. Unpredictable kids. They're training you in their unpredictability to keep you vigilant in connection. Why is he doing this? What's he doing that now? What's this all about? Oh no, I got to figure this out, right? They keep you vigilant, keeping connected, so you don't get lazy, you don't get standard, you don't get like relying on people besides you, because this is work. Parenting is work. This child is relying on you. So they do things, unpredictable, unique, weird things to keep you connecting and watching and analyzing and judging and figuring out how to parent through it, navigating it. They're highly sensitive. So because every time you do something and trigger them, they're going to show you, this is how it triggers me. It triggers me in a good way and high vibe stuff, or it triggers me into bad stuff, into low vibe, and I don't want to feel this and I want to leave. They're super sensitive because they want you to respond and react to them. Remember, they're mirroring you. They're trying to teach you to mirror them. Okay. So they're going to keep you vigilant and connecting they're going to be unpredictable as long as you are not vigilant, right? They're going to keep reacting, responding, and blowing up and stuff unless you help them manage and navigate their feelings and triggers. They're problem solvers. They are going to figure out their own way to get the cookies that you hid on top of the dresser or in the drawer, lock the thing, because they're going to teach you to teach them. Use the tools and resources that are appropriate in the right way, that are safe for them, that, and they're going to teach them the rules that say, okay, well, maybe my tool is waiting. I got to wait till tomorrow to have my 2 cookies, but I can wait. And how good is that tool to teach us and help us live, right? So remember, they're going to be problem solving in their own way. So you're going to say, wait a minute. Let me show you the better way. Let me show you the right way to solve this problem. And they're going to be responsive, right? Because they want you to learn to teach on their level. Don't force them ahead of them, or don't baby them below them. Be with them and teach them. They're going to be responsive. I like this. I don't like this. And they're going to want you to be responsive to them and respond when they like something. Keep doing it. When they don't, change it, right? And they're active and moving because they are intentionally, remember, intention. They move intentionally to train you because they want you to get intention in your parenting. This is the mission of a mission child. And they're activating their neuroplasticity because they know their brains aren't developed in the language sector. They're nonverbal communicators, but they also know they need language because they see the value in the language that you offer them when you're facilitating. Okay. This is the desire for these children is, look, if these parents just connect with us, you'll naturally give them everything they need. You'll give them all the language models. You'll give them all the demonstrations. You'll give them all the whatever, as long as you are looking in the mirror and not just, judging what you see as good or bad, but learning from it why it's happening and how to use it or change it, because the things we love, we don't have to change. We just have to double down and keep going and elevate and expand those things. But the things that aren't working, we got to realize it ASAP. So we don't waste any more time or energy chasing around. What do you want? What is this? What should I do? I don't know what to do. And into this is our next move. This is what we do now. This is where we go play. This is how I talk. And you are so confident in that knowledge because of your connection, not with what did they think I should do, or what does this do, or what's the school expect, or what's they gonna do, or whatever. But what does this child need from me? He's coming here, got given to me, right? That's you as the parent. We're giving this child to love and cherish and bring up in a world that is causing you to remember potential trauma that happened to you outside of this parenting experience. Stuff that happened to you when you were a baby, stuff that happened to you in a relationship, stuff that happened to you in a previous life, in a job, I'm getting all these messages from all these parents with all this baggage and this trauma that they're dragging behind them while they're trying to parent over here, in front of them, this happy, joyful little kid who's trying to say, look what's behind you. And you're like, no, 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 no. This isn't me. This is my kid's issue. Look at him. He's late talking. He's this, he's that, because that's what everybody else is telling you to do. Nobody's telling you to look behind you at what you're dragging around that's weighing you down, that's not doing it. But there is one. There is one person in the whole wide world that's trying to get you to see what's behind you, and it's your late talker, this mission kid. That's why he's here. He, she. A lot of them are boys, but a lot of them are girls too, right? And that's it. They're here because they're trying to get you to stop listening to the noise and listen to them. Listen to what they're telling you every day. So, for those of you watching now, I have a whole deck of messages from late talkers. The front is messages, the back is advice. And this is the messages that these children, when I looked at the picture, I saw a message fly out at me. I wrote it down on the card. So if you want a message from your late talker, if you're watching me live, I'm going to put this banner up right now. If you're watching me live, comment now, and I'll pull a card at the end of this video. It's not very long. At the end of this video for you to get a message from your late talker and some advice through me about what you can do. So put that comment right now if you're watching live. If you're watching on the replay and you like this situation and you want to see it in the future, put that in the comments, because I'll bring this out as a regular tool. Again, bringing out the metaphysical tools again. We got Pluto moving into Aquarius, and it is time to get real about this mission. And that's why the kids want me to have this mission right now. So I see some things coming in, and we'll get to them at the end. All right, so let's go. Keep going. Let's keep going in the education I've got for you here. So remember, this is the healing. So remember, these are the things your kids are triggering you to change. So if they're unpredictable, you got to get more vigilant. If they're sensitive, you got to attend to their feelings and triggers. And problem solving, you got to teach them tools. If they're responsive, you got to be responsive back and change and doing all that. And then active and moving around, they're triggering that neuroplasticity. So you got to let them move and get moving with them, right? So that's how we're going to do this. Okay, so remember, the biggest characteristic of a late talking mission kids is that I should have that word in big caps, are most often feeling happy. Look at these children, the light flying out of them. Your children are just like this. They're little angels on earth with super high vibe energy trying to bring you up. Okay. And then, so the thing is, right, whenever I see parents that are really stuck in this desperation and worry and all of that stuff, and I ask them, is your child happy? And they're all like, yeah, they're they're super happy. It's me that's losing sleep. It's me that's worrying about judgment. It's me that doesn't know what I'm going to do with this kid because he's going to school next year and the school is whack. All of that stuff that's going on. Okay, so let's get into what we can do about it, right? Because remember, this is it. These late talking kids are happy, but there is real reason and motivation and intention behind what they do. So here's what happens. Here's what happens to all of you, right? Your mission kids will trigger parents. This is how the process works. Like we don't have a problem to solve unless we have a problem highlighted. And that's what these late talkers are doing. They're going to trigger you when they need healing. They trigger parents when they need healing, meaning the parent, the child. The parent thinks they're healing the child because that's what parents automatically do when they're in the 3D world and worried about the outside stuff and diagnosis and all that business. But really, it's the child saying, hey, I'm ready to teach you a lesson, and I'm going to show you how. And the facilitators, they respond to triggers by changing their actions. And that's what Waves of Communication, when you look at my logo, is all about. We got the language facilitation zone, this energetic zone where you are just connected with your child and you're changing your action. You're offering them loving stuff that's going to teach them. And while you're shifting your mind out of making them do stuff into love, so does your heart, right? So here are some examples of the low vibe missions that trigger parents into awareness with focus on issues. And I'm not saying this is bad, I'm saying this is your journey. Like, you were given a big problem to solve. If you weren't given a big problem to solve, you wouldn't be watching this video. You'd be TikToking and dancing and going on vacation and stuff. But you're worried about your kid and you want to know what to do. So here's what they did. They got sick. You know, they either had glue ear or gut issues, this late talking, no matter why. Maybe it's in your family and all that stuff. They had sensory issues. Then maybe they manipulating, you know, that they fight over tech, they fight over eating, they fight over the potty, they fight over sleeping, they fight over stimming, all this manipulation, all this stuff. And you need to stop, you need to start, you need to stop, you need to start, right? This is what, these are low vibe things. You know, you can't, you know, if you're all like, it's a blame, it's all blame it on this, blame it on that, blame, you know, no, this is all stuff that's fixable when you focus on it. And the competition and challenge, right? This is attention to trauma. This is messes, meltdowns, eloping, and hurting others. So this is what the blue things are, the behaviors you're seeing. And the reason you're seeing them, the reason your kid keeps getting sick over and over and over and over again, because that's their tool to use to get you to connect. When they get sick, they get you 150%. When they start manipulating or starting to, you know, smear poo or quit eating or never sleep, they get your attention. When they start challenging you, like I said, with this stuff, then that's it. They get your focus. So then you got a choice always. When you focus on these issues, how are you going to do it? Are you going to do it in a high vibe way or in a low vibe way, right? So what the mission kid does is they trigger parents out of that low vibe stuff by giving them awareness of how they feel. Look, I need you to not yell at me because I'm upset. Look at how I feel. I need you to pull out your happy vibes, mommy. Find them somewhere and give them to me, because then when you find them in you, then you can do it. And this mom's like, hey, playing with my kids, not so bad. They do like me. They don't cry when I leave, because now I'm finally in a happy, high vibe place that I can play with them. But as long as you stay in that low vibe situation, everybody feels low vibe. So they're going to trigger you, this mission kid, into feeling high vibe just by playing with them. Look at building a tower. Yay, that was fun. And one little success, one little amazing thing that you do with them, they show you signs, lights saying, I'm listening. I got this. I learned it. When you're in the right, when you're reflecting the right thing, they reflect right back. This works. I like this. When you feel nice, we can play together all day. I'll stay with you a long time, right? But when you get triggered by that other stuff, you're disconnected from your child, you're triggered by that other stuff, and you're like, you're taking a break from the mission again. You're on your own mission or somebody else's mission or some mission, but it's not our mission. Our mission is for me to heal you through our connection so that you keep this high vibe things and you feel confident about yourself as a person. You don't feel like your parenting experiences anymore. Because with this child, look how happy they are. They're just playing together. And the mom's like, she's not completely like, well, this is great. She's literally pulled herself out of whatever. Okay. So remember, it's not that stuff. It's just how they're showing you. They're showing you. So look, I want to pull this back. You're not failing him in any way. He's just reminding you that it's time to get to work now. You can't feel guilt and shame about that you didn't do this now. Remember, I didn't even have this video out yet to talk to you about how serious this is, that you're got your baggage and you're bringing it into your parent situation and you don't know because you're trying to do your best as being a mom, you know, but it's okay. It's okay. You're not failing your child because you're ready to change. And these kids are as resilient as rubber balls, right? They look like, oh, this is damage and trauma forever, but literally, look how happy this child is, right? They show parents how to raise the vibe through healing and connection. So you got to find that healing and connection as much as you can to maintain this. That's when the progress just happens naturally. It just happens naturally, right? She goes, they're really doing it. So listen, mission kids work best with functional missions because this is what moms relate to in the real world. Like, I got to get through the day. We got to cook. We got to do these things. And these kids are like, yeah, do your mom thing. Don't freak out and try to be a therapist or something else. I just need you to focus on parenting with me because through the natural parenting experience, you'll heal all that junk. You don't ever have to think and worry about it anymore. It's done, it's history, it's in the past. But you can't let it affect you moving forward. If you change moving forward, then that's it. So the reason for the action, this is where it comes from. Is it coming from fear or worry or desperation, or is it coming from this is something that I want to teach my kid, that I love to teach my kid, that my mom taught me, and I loved it when she did that. It wasn't the time she smacked me that I'm trying to remember that, oh no, my kid's making a mess and I want to smack them because that's what my mom did. Because remember, you're reflecting your mom's stuff too, right? But language facilitators use these missions to teach kids and then you forget about the late talking and the mission works. Like it just works. The kids start learning. Okay. So here is what we talk about. Now, there's two kinds of missions. Missions happen all day, every day. We all do missions all day. To get out of bed is a mission. Right? So that's a small one because there's always a reason, right? We could stay in bed all day, but we get out of bed because look, well, I got things to do. I know. And why do I have those things to do? Because I wanted to connect with you today. I wanted to make a little money. I wanted to, see the sunshine. I wanted to water my plants and see them growing because I'm finally taking care of them. Because I was focused on other things. I'm like that. Like my garden is kind of like your late talker. I get so worried about how many people are watching my videos that I don't water my flowers. And then when I go out after the video, I see a dead tree, right? So the idea here is like every day now I plan to water those plants. And I love that time. I water, I watch, I see the people, I say hi to neighbors, I get a little sunshine in the morning because the rest of the day I spend inside making videos and doing stuff for all of you. Okay, so the reality of this whole process is that you're going to be highlighted to the things that you can do and change. And everything that you intend to do is a mission. And you've got short term missions. And when you're conscious and intentional about your short term missions, they teach you a lot. They help you stay consistent, they help you get efficient, and they teach you how to do things properly. So that's like my whole scenario with watering my plants is what it does. I've got a whole routine now in my morning where I go out and I see it and I judge them every day. Oh boy, more flowers are growing. And that's a big part of my morning is it's looking at all the new things that have developed. And then I nurture it with the water and the fertilizer or whatever. And then I come back the next day and do it again and stay consistent with it. And guess what? Now they look gorgeous, right? Every day I notice it. So here's what happens. This is the how, all right, when you're in this. So self-awareness, personal wants and needs. This is eating, cleaning, entertainment, comfort, etc. This is the mission, right? You're not just doing for, giving to, you're facilitating this child's ability to navigate these solutions independently. And that's your job. You don't have to teach them to talk. You just have to teach them to eat and teach them to clean and teach them to entertain themselves and teach them to find comfort. And as you teach them those things with a conscious connection facilitator mindset and talk your head off, the kid is going to learn. Right? And then you're going to feel great because you're going to see the leaves growing every day. Okay. And the helper, they care for others. So all day long, you got to do things that care for other people and help them feel satisfied. Why do you cook? Why do you serve? Why do you cook the food people want? You want them to feel satisfied. You talk about that. That's your job, is to teach this child how to assist other people and help them feel satisfied, and how nice that is when we accomplish that goal. And then the responder, right? So you're going to manage the situations in real time, routines, new events, people, places, things. And you're going to be the problem solver, the one that shows this child how to fix or find what's broken or lost, because things get broken, things get lost. So these are the short-term missions. that you've got going every single day. Every single day, we got short-term missions going on. And then we've got long-term missions, okay? And those are the things that we do intentionally to grow our skills for a real purpose, the why. Why do we do this? And we do it again from a place, from a mindset, from a mission standpoint. I am a healer, so I'm going to be consistent with the remedies. I'm going to manage the symptoms. We're healing injury or chronic illness, right? When you get off of your stuff and you're not consistent with your remedies, then we got to go find the healer, right? So your child could be coming into world and they grow up in one of these categories. They're a healer now. Do they like to consistent? Are they healing themselves? Because remember, all of us learn through our journey. I have a codependent journey that I am sharing with all of you through my inspiration for my videos. I was born into parents that taught me big lessons. And now that I'm having my second Saturn return, I've learned them. And I want to teach you. I want to help you avoid some of the things that I went through. But you know what? I can't avoid all of them. You're not going to either. You're going to go through things that is your lot in life to teach you these lessons. It's what the universe is doing for you, not to you. Okay. And if you follow astrology, and we got this big eclipse in Pisces, all the things that people are doing for you that are good or bad or not so good or whatever, they're highlighting. It's going to be whatever. And the things that are not so good that you decide you don't want anymore, right? Because they're coming to you anyway. And you're like, look, I don't want this coming to me anymore. Remember, you're attracting everything. Everything. Your desperation's attracting quick fix schemes. Okay. Your frustrations attracting more hard work. Right. And I'm telling you that this happens magically when you just be a parent. Okay. You don't have to worry. All of that stuff is what's bringing you back down. Okay. So now we know that your children are on a path. These mission kids, what are they going to do when they grow up and share their wisdom with the world? Will they be an achiever? Are they just in this life to develop talent? Are they a natural athlete? Are they, are they a natural artist? Are they a dancer? Whatever. Their job in life, their lot, their reason to be here and healing through you, the reason they need to learn to talk is because they've got to share this wisdom with the world. And they got one of these or more of these categories that they are trying to share. And they're showing you in their behavior what they like. And so remember, you're going to do these things. The things you're modeling are the things in blue. You're going to personal analysis. Oh, that's better than yesterday. Remember, if you don't do analysis, you're going to just look at a dead tree and you're not going to realize it needs extra. It needs this, it needs that, because you got to change to keep things growing. And then there's coaching. That's the change to keep things growing. And then you got to push past barriers. Look, are we going to grow or are we going to stay the same? That's what talent development is. And a facilitator, a parent who's raising an achiever, is going to have to do this. You're going to have to be this or find this in somebody else. But everything they go about in life, if they're a natural achiever, they're going to achieve potty training, and they're going to achieve, climb the jungle gym, and they're going to achieve, the A on their test, or, all that stuff. These achievers, they want to be the best. They're always trying to be better. And then there's the seekers. They don't care about being best. They just want to learn. They're gathering resources and info. They're curious. They're research. They document. They share. They're like, look what I learned over here, and look what I learned over here. It's not stuff necessarily that they know, but they might analyze and bring those things. The achievers need these seekers. They're the sources of that information, okay? And then you got the leaders, the people who synthesize all of this and put it into applications, and who knows what these kids are going to create, because the energy is so high vibe. That's their job, the leader. They're creating things that we never had. They're attracting, they're educating, and they're influencing. So these are the long-term missions that you as a language facilitator parent are on with this child, okay? Short-term missions every day. Long-term missions, follow your child. Now it's time for you to accept your mission and get started. I have a 3-step process for you to begin your mission-based facilitation today. And that's what we're doing. You got a mission kid, you got to start with connection. Always start with connection. That's why I made this video. Go back to it. This is like a mini workshop for those of you who really want to learn this. Go in and check out, see how you're communicating. This High vibe telepathic communication is the bridge. It tells you the signs, the symbols, the intuitive hits that you get from your late talker are the messages that you're going to translate into real words, just like I did with my cards. If you want a card, by the way, stay tuned and put a comment and I'll pull a card for you. And then yeah, that's it. The idea is that once you know what they're thinking and intending with their behavior, you translate that into the spoken language that they need to bring that wisdom to the world. Okay. And then step two, you got to identify low vibe missions. Because remember, your child is telling you when I'm sick, when I'm being manipulated, when I'm feeling this thing, they're triggering you to where are you? They're finding you in the low vibe and bringing you up. Okay, so that's it. Identify the low vibe missions that triggered those trauma response behaviors, because that's the specialty of a mission child, is to find you in your trauma and bring you up because that's what they do. They've got this high energy. And so if you need ideas, like if you don't have inspiration, then you have to choose new high vibe missions and plan for everyday work towards progress. Because if you don't plan and do the work every day toward progress, then the bushes don't grow and the leaves fall off. And that's what happens to me. You can screenshot this. I'll pause this so you can screenshot it. That focus topics, I don't know if you can read them all. That's a page out of my workbook. Literally tell you missions, everyday jobs, personal skills, functional language, planned activities. These are the things that you use every day. And if you want to stay connected with me, I suggest that you join my newsletter, free Get Started guide and a newsletter to show you how it works, how all of this works for parents of late talkers. Okay, so all that being said, let me pull this up. So if you are watching live and you want to have a card pulled for you, we'll go ahead and do that. And the first one I've got is Sarah. So she said that she needs a little advice. So what we'll do is we'll just sort of shuffle these up a little bit, and we're going to see what is the message that your late talker is wanting to share with you to sort of give you direction on your next best step. That's what we want to know right now. Okay. All right. So you get this card that says, watch how I explore. And I'm going to show you the image so you can get a little information. I don't know if this looks like your little guy, if you love the beach, or if you see silly faces. Sometimes just the words or the images there have, and then the back of this color, the back of this card is purple, which means that it's highlighting your crown chakra, which means that this advice is going to help you work intuitively. That's where the purple stuff comes. Speech is, but the intuitive is this telepathic communication. So you probably do have a very telepathic late talker. So listen, the advice about this, because this child is saying, watch me, which means, first of all, that maybe you're not watching enough. Maybe you're trying to dictate the behavior more than you're following your child's lead. And when you see, remember, this specifically says, watch how I explore, which says to me that your child says, I'm trying to show you that I need to learn this way. I find information this way. They're either doing things over and over again and they need you to repeat yourself more often. That's the message I'm getting right now. Or they need you to show them more. So instead of just saying, we're going to do this and do it, they want you to show them more demonstration, because remember, this is the reflection. This child, it wants to, they say, watch me because I'm watching you. I'm watching how you do things because I don't understand all the language you're using yet. Maybe you're using too much. Maybe you're using too little. You're just stuck in telepathy. But what you're saying isn't matching what you're doing, and your late talker needs you to say more about what you are feeling and what you are doing, because this says, watch how I explore. And then you do the same thing with your child. You're going to say, he's figuring that out. You'll see the hits because he's communicating to you when he does these things over and over and over again. So if your child has repetitive behaviors, like especially if they're like stimming and you see those stimming things, he's doing those things to alert you into this process that I talked about this today, where you have to bring up your things. And the advice is to notice learning patterns. So late talkers use the same tool set of strategies. I can't believe I just thought of that. Now I said it. The same tool set of strategies to explore across different objects and environments. So, like I said, if he does repetitive stuff, he'll do it here, he'll do it there, he'll do it there, he'll do it there. If he's holding a thing, he'll take it here, he'll take it there, he'll take it there. He's showing you, I need this example, I need this way, I need this whatever. He's showing you. He's telling me you know what this is. So hopefully you do. And then it says watch to see which behaviors they're using routinely as you explore and as they explore and play on their own. And then intuitively contemplate if then concepts. If then, ooh, if I do this, then this will happen. If I do this, then this will happen. That's why people use those if thens. If you do this, I'll give you the cookie, you know, that kind of stuff. All right, hang on a second. Another card fell on the floor. So that means that you get a bonus. And it is this card. It says, I have great ideas. This is a lightning bolt. Look, I have great ideas. So that means, again, these two go very well together because this late talker needs you to focus on them more. Instead of being the one to say, we're doing this and we're doing this and we're doing this, you're making those plans without your child. That's what this card means. This card means that they want you to, you know, watch them, try it my way, do things this way. And you're probably shutting down some of that stuff because it doesn't look like it's normal or somebody told you it was bad or something like that, right? So it says ask for input, which means who are you going to ask for input? This child, your child, not anybody else, not me, but this child. You never know what amazing ideas can be created in the mind of a super smart late talker. Offer the opportunity for the late talker to choose when you can't decide on what to eat. So start with easy things like, hey, and then you'll see, oh, you'll say you were thinking we'll have this rice dish or this rice dish, and suddenly your child pulls out the pasta. You're like, oh, I didn't even think about pasta, but we've pasta today. And that would make your child really happy, raise their vibe, cook it with them. They love the pasta. You start slurping the noodles, and now your day is happier. And otherwise, you were just cooking the same curry. Remember that whole, I'm in my routine, I'm doing my thing, I'm just whatever. That connection isn't there. And that's what this child is also. Kids who say they need you to watch and listen to them, that's what they're telling you. They need you to watch and listen to them. Okay. It says ask them to show you how they enjoy playing with new materials. So instead of saying this is how you do it at first, you can say this is how I do it. How do you do it? Right. So you have a demonstration without oh no, stop. Because I think that part, I just got that message where you might be tempted as your child's doing something in a unique way to stop them mid-action. And that's why the child's saying, just hold on, watch me. I am the genius here. Like, I'm showing you a better way to brush teeth or do whatever you're doing. And maybe it's not a better way, but your child wants to show you that it's not, they're not as dumb as you think they are. I just got that, sorry. No judgment either, folks. The whole reason you're here is so that you can learn and change, right? Okay, so request their assistance by explaining your problem and asking for their unguided help. That's it. That's another really good strategy. So if you're like, I don't know how to do this, and then just put your problem out there without automatically putting a solution, and your child will show you solutions. That's what these ideas are. Right? Okay. I love that. That's amazing. So there's a really good message for you, Sarah. And then we've got Hosanna here. So she wants to have a message. She needs advice. Let's go. We'll stick these cards in and mix them up a little bit more and see what your late talker is looking for you. So it's okay. Like I said, I don't want you to feel like you're failing. I don't want you to feel like you're struggling. Here's what your late talker has advice for you, an idea to help you feel better about this whole process, right? The first advice was to watch this video. The second one was, look, it says you feel my feelings too. This is green writing because it's all the heart chakra. So that's why it's hard to see on my green screen. So it says you feel my feelings too. Look at this card. So this is a mom, like I said, I'm not surprised the parents that are watching me are super intuitive yourself. You know that whole idea. Your baby's been talking to you since before they were born, right? So it says describe your experience. So your child is waiting for you to get out of this head and feelings and telepathy and I know this and then talking to other people, me or your parents or your advisors or whoever. Your child wants you to talk to them about what you're feeling because they're going to be like, I feel that now, I hear and see it. So remember, this is a mom who's got a lot of that telepathic communication going on, and maybe your child is one of those that had some illness and you're so tuned into the physical body, like, oh, he needs to go to the bathroom or he's hungry or he's got to go this or he's not feeling well or his nose is all stuffy, and you're all intuitively just like china dolling, putting that baby in that thing because you're so empathic. A lot of you folks are also psychic intuitives and all this stuff. I know obviously you were given this child because you've got to ground yourself into helping this child ground down, because the real world doesn't appreciate people who think through life. You got to do things, you got to bring it down into the 3D, and I think that's one of the things that happens to a lot of these super high vibe mommies, right? All right, so describe how you're feeling when you interact in emotional situations. There may have been some, you're probably getting a lot of them triggered in your world right now with this eclipse. So when you're in them and you're, oh, look at those kids, or oh, that boy is crying, or oh, that mommy is angry, or oh, that man is so upset, or oh, he wrecked his car, he must be so sad, I wonder if he's okay. All those things that you're seeing when you see things in the world, you're so empathic, you pick up immediately. You probably even see the scenario psychically in your mind. I'm getting that about you, Hosanna. You're one of those visual people where you can almost see the future and visualize the past and all of that stuff, and you can't see the future. This is the issue with this little late talker. You can't, because you're so in the feelings of it, and you're just like, it'll be okay, it'll be okay, it'll be okay, but it won't be okay unless you start talking. This little guy needs you to bring the language out into the world. That's the message I get. So describe how you're feeling and start with easy little phrases like, yes, bummer, oh, no bueno. I mean, whatever, good and bad little phrases that kids use, because as soon as you start to say those things, then immediately teach yourself the strategy of following it with a mini 3-sentence story. Oh, wow, that boy got a birthday present and he got exactly what he wanted when he opened the package, and look how happy he is, right? That's where the oh wow is triggering the child into the verbal, because remember, they're already feeling the feelings way back when you feel them. You can, like I said, you're that's how it's calm in your household. You're like, yeah, we're going, it's going to be fine, and your child's like, okay, I believe you, and you're like, it's going to be rough, and your child's like, okay, I believe you, and then that's what happens as soon as you feel something like that. So you got to talk about it. You got to talk about those feelings. That's your advice from your late talker. And this is it, you guys. This is how we bring it out. It's as easy as teaching your child to, let me put this all away. There we go. There we go. So yeah, that's the advice from these kids to you. They're here to help you. If you've got that energetic baggage you've been hauling around, some of you got a whole semi truck full, some of you got a little backpack. Doesn't matter. As long as you're focused on that baggage, you're not going to be as connected with your late talker as you need to be. And they need you to help them bring their language out so they can share their wisdom with the world. They are super smart. They do have solutions to problems that they need, but they need you to get their brain started. Like, that's it. You're like the inertia, and the gasoline in the tank is the information and guidance and energy. I keep talking about this thing because it's moving forward, and we really are, folks. We really are. I want you to consider your impact and how over the next week you can make some real changes in what you understand is the reason that you were gifted this experience to parent this beautiful child that is super happy and trying to shoot out laser beams of love and light to you every minute they can. And as long as you've got a barrier up to that mirror where they're showing you what you can learn from and how you can improve, then you're going to stay stuck. And as long as your focus is outside of that mirror, that natural mirror in your child, there is no barrier between you. The child is the mirror. Okay. And whether you want to look at it, it's just like when you look at yourself in the mirror. Okay. You look at your body and you immediately go to, I don't like this part or this part or this part or this part, whatever. Or I like this part or this part or this part or this part or this part. Okay. And if your body shape is your mission, I had that for a while. I had a big weight loss journey, and it was an everyday job for me to focus on where am I going, but it ended. I moved on. You can't continually lose weight. You can't get down to nothing, right? So eventually the focus shifts to the next mission, right? So that's how these long-term missions and short-term missions, when you focus on what you're doing every day as just a series of mission after mission after mission after mission, time goes by and improvement happens naturally. Okay. When you're focused on the process, that's why so much of my videos, I know they're the most common videos on my channel, are the process videos, because parents just want to be telling me what to do. And then I'll do it and hope that it's going to happen. And this process is different. I need to get you out of that. And I might lose some followers because of this, because I'm not going to be here telling you what to do. You can figure out what to do. Your child is showing you every single day and non-verbally, telepathically telling you what they need you to do to help them. Okay. And I'm here to guide you. So if you are struggling again, I have this free newsletter at wavesofcommunication.com. And yeah, like that's it. Okay, so thank you to all of you who have watched today. I really appreciate your open mindedness to this concept, to this idea, because your child is waiting for you to catch up and listen and follow this. And if you've been inspired by this, please let me know in the comment section, whether you're watching live or on the replay. It is not by the book. It is by the vibe. It's by the mission. It's mission by mission by mission by mission. And that's what these mission kids need. It's not a 12-year treatment plan. It's mission by mission. And as you solve these missions every day, the progress happens naturally. And then all of a sudden you look around and you think, man, this was a pretty fun mission, as opposed to the hard work method, right? I want you to make it easy for yourself. I want you to feel happy every day, not just someday when he says a word. I want you to feel happy in the process of facilitating that. I want you to feel safe from judgment of other people, because the real solutions, the real information is found right there in that mirror of your child. Okay. And I want you to have fun, because if it isn't fun, it isn't fun. And these children, no fun is low vibe energy. And even solving problems, even overcoming challenges, even doing the hard work can be fun, especially when you're on a mission. I mean, that's why people take on missions. And everything is a mission when you work from intention. And that's what these lay talkers are here sharing through me for you, their moms, dads, caregivers, whoever you are watching this video. Your lay talkers ready for you to put all that junk aside, eclipse it out, dig into how you feel in your connection and transform, bring it out, share this wisdom with the world. And your late talker will be forever grateful. And so will I, because I can't wait to hear what they do. Thank you so much again for joining me, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.